Welcome to All Home Care Matters, the show where we discuss all things home care, with discussions on important age-related matters and topics. Brought to you by Enriched Life Home Care Services, the #1 rated home care provider in Michigan by Top Rated Local.
Hi, and welcome to All Home Care Matters. If this is your first time visiting us here at the show, we want to say thank you for taking time out to be with us today. We appreciate how valuable everyone's time is, and that's why we try and make each episode here at All Home Care Matters something that will hopefully matter to you. Today, we have a special episode where we're visiting the Frenchtown Adult Day Center here in Monroe, Michigan. Right now, I am joined by the administrator of the Frenchtown Senior Center, Mr. Paul Icoangeli. Welcome, Paul.
Hi, thanks, Lance. I'm glad you're here today.
Thank you. We're glad to be here. So I want to talk about the Adult Day. We're going to go back and visit with the folks and kind of show what an Adult Day is and what you guys are doing here at Frenchtown. But why don't you share with our viewers and listeners what exactly an Adult Day is and what services you offer here at Frenchtown?
Okay, glad to. Like I said, I appreciate you taking the opportunity to come down and visit us and help us promote the program. Yeah. It's kind of one of the best kept secrets in Monroe County, believe it or not. The daycare was started 26 years ago by, it was Area Agency on Aging, which is now referred to as Ageways. And it kind of came to fruition because of a past member and good friend, Florine Mentel. Florine was instrumental in bringing the program here because she saw a need for caregivers in the community that were taking care of people that basically had a cognitive disease, dementia related mostly, and where the caregivers just didn't get the respite that they needed. And everybody realizes that caregiver burnout, even 26 years ago, was a big problem. Because these folks were taking care of their loved ones and everything. So they started the program, and through the years we've had some changes. We started out as a social model, where it's basically people who can take care of themselves to a certain degree. They still need caregivers, but they don't need 24-hour care. They can still feed themselves, use the facilities, those types of things, but they just can't be left alone. Mm-hmm. So we provide that service here, and a few years back, the service was upgraded to a medical model, where we could actually help people with their drugs and things of that nature. But Ageways since has changed everything back to a social model, so that people are able to come, socialize, and you'd be surprised how many of these people just kind of get involved in the program and start talking to the person next to them, and it's just really a great thing to see.
Absolutely. So when they changed it from a medical back to the social, did you see that have a negative impact on the family caregivers and their loved ones?
No, it really wasn't, because of the fact that I think the majority of people that we were seeing anyway were for the social model. Okay. It really didn't impact any, at least from our experience. We didn't see any impact here. And one of the other things I need to share with your viewers is the fact that I was a board member here for 8 years, and then I've been director now for 6. So I have 14 years of experience, even though it wasn't in an administrative capacity, it was still familiar with the program and everything. And then besides that, I sat on the Commission on Aging, which is the funded agency that Monroe County has a senior millage. One of the few counties, actually one of the first counties in Michigan that did. And as a result of that, the funding for that program comes from Ageways and the Monroe County Commission on Aging from the senior millage. Mm-hmm. And so we really didn't, like I said, from our perspective, we really didn't see it. Now maybe some of the other adult daycare programs in the state of Michigan might have saw more of an impact. But, like I said, for us, the social model seemed to be working extremely well.
Well, and, I'm fond of saying, you're really, as a family caregiver, it's also benefiting you, right? Because you have that peace of mind of being able to bring your loved one to a facility. It's safe, it's secure, they're going to be with peers, and they're getting that engagement. you know, and it's giving respite to their family caregiver where they can take care of their hair appointments, doctor's appointments, maybe do grocery shopping or just go watch a movie, you know, and just have that downtime for themselves. What is, you've spoken about, you know, millages and funding and things. For viewers and listeners who may not be familiar, what is the financial model for an adult day? How is it funded? Is it through health insurance, VA benefits? How do families?
Well, we're fortunate because there's a multitude of funding available for it. We receive, like I said, the majority of the funding was coming from Ageways. And in recent years, the Monroe County Commission on Aging had to up their support to the program just because of the way the financial situation is in the state of Michigan. So we receive money from Ageways, we receive money from the Monroe County Commission on Aging, and we also receive money from United Way, who's another partner. And then in addition to those, then we also ask for people to contribute. You know, and it's basically a sliding scale based on how much money that the household makes, or the individual makes, not the household, just the participant. And then it kind of ranges in price. You know, we've had people here for $3 an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the one thing about it is we've done studies on it before, and adult daycare, if you have a loved one, this is the most economical means of being able to, you know, like you said, bring somebody in a safe, secure environment.
When would somebody fall out of the criteria for being a participant of the adult day?
About the only time that we see a significant decline where the family usually makes the judgment that, you know, I can't bring mom or my loved one anymore. You know, she's very anxious about coming anymore. They just can't tolerate it. We very rarely see anybody that, in certain situations, they have to be able to, the daycare program is part of the senior center, or as we like to call it, the Frenchtown Center for Active Adults.
Active adults, yes.
Active adults. And so we have an area dedicated for our dementia or daycare program. So they have to be able to stay in the program. You know, we don't like to keep the doors shut. You know, we like to try to keep it friendly atmosphere. So if we get people that can't stay in the room, then we have to ask the family that, for their safety, because once they get out into the senior center or the activity center, we can kind of lose them.
Sure.
So that's, you know, and we have the staff ratio to participants is 5 participants to 1 staff. Okay. So we have plenty of staff, but the problem is, you know, when one of those persons needs to use the facilities, then that takes one of the staff away.
So wandering is a big deterrent. Okay.
Big deterrent.
What about like personal hygiene and toileting? Are they able to assist with toileting, or do they have to be independent on that?
No, actually, that's one of the things that's becoming more and more of a growing need. Okay. Is basically hygiene, toiletry. Okay. We actually provide shower service if one of our participants can't shower at home.
Wonderful.
We end up bringing them here. We have shower facilities for that, and you know, so no. And then there's times where, you know, we've had participants that have you know, soiled themselves. We keep spare clothes here. We have a washer and dryer to, you know, accommodate those situations. So, you know,
So it's everything they need.
Everything.
You can help with medications?
We can, if they're on medication, you know, and let's just say it takes 1 every 4 hours, we're able to put the pill out and they can take it themselves. We can't administer it, but they're able to take it themselves.
Yeah. It is the best kept secret in Monroe.
Oh, let me tell you, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it's a secret, but hopefully after this it won't be.
We're gonna
One follow-up question, because we want to interview Jean, who is the director of the center, but how would you summarize the adult day for somebody that has no idea what it is? How would you categorize it to somebody?
Well, you know, and I think it's what you were saying about this. This gives people an opportunity to be able to bring somebody in a safe, secure environment for 10 minutes, for 8 hours. You know, if they need to get something accomplished that they can't normally, then they're able to bring their loved one here, go out and do those oil changes, go to the bank, go to the grocery store. knowing that their loved one's safe here. And and the one thing that a lot of people don't really realize is the fact that sometimes it's not just one caregiver, it's a multitude of caregivers. There's days that we end up seeing the granddaughter drop grandma off, and then the daughter picks mom up, or the son picks mom up later in the day, because everybody's got various schedules. Those are that right there's two people that wouldn't be able to be out in the working world if they weren't able to bring their loved one here. So yeah.
Well, Paul, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Lance.
We're looking forward to speaking with Jean next and then going back to visit the center.
Oh, great.
Now we are welcoming Jean Semick, the program director here at the Frenchtown Adult Day. Welcome, Jean.
Hi, glad to have you here with us
Our
today.
pleasure, our pleasure. So, Jean, share a little bit about your background as the program director.
Well, I've been working with seniors and the elderly since the early 80s. I was a certified nurse's assistant in a long care facility, and I just was drawn to seniors my whole life. I find it a great mission to have, and I just enjoy my job.
Yeah. And, I know for myself, we have a home care company as well, and one of the greatest joys that I personally get is not only seeing the help and the benefit to the loved ones that we're caring for, but also the family. I'm sure you have some of the same experiences.
Yes, I love all my families. We have such a good relationship, and over the course of time, you build a bond with all the families. They're part of the family, the client as well as the family.
So I am here with
Doreen and Pam.
And you're both caregivers here at the center?
Correct.
How long have the two of you been here, Doreen?
Almost 2 years. Same thing,
Same?
almost
Okay.
2.
Wonderful. So we've been seeing a lot of fun activities, a lot of exercises, lunchtime. But what does the center really mean to you personally, Doreen?
Freedom for these people to just come and relax and be with each other, and they bond with each other, and then we just have fun with them.
And how about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. You just look forward to coming here and making them laugh and smile, and just to get out of the home setting and just be with other people their age and enjoy games and just socialization of all kinds.
Right.
And they love it.
Yeah. Now, I just want to kind of close with one more question for the two of you, because I know you have to get back. What do you want people to know about this center who may not have any idea it's here or even what an adult day is? How would you explain it to them?
I think it's a wonderful time for the people that come here, okay? And a lot of people, like you said, they don't understand it's here. They need to do their research.
Yeah.
Come in and look, come in and see. They can come in and do a tour, and they can show them.
Yeah.
And they can see what their family member would be doing in here. They would really enjoy it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've had fun all day.
Yeah.
And, I say to people, too, though, it's not just about for their loved one either. It's for them, too, because it
Yes.
gives them time.
Respite time.
Respite and to take care of their own health needs or personal needs.
Go
or
out
just
to lunch.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a big part of it. And they say if they wouldn't have been able to bring their parent here, that caregivers get wore out as much
Exactly.
as the paid client.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's a break for both. They come
Right.
here, have fun, and then their mother or their daughter goes out and gets things that they wouldn't have been able to do, their errands and
Right.
everything. So it's a win-win for both, and that's what we really like.
Yeah,
People
absolutely.
to know to bring them here with us, we'll
Right.
take good care of them.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything more to how you would explain it to a family?
Well, we try to, tell people, like she said, we're trying to get the word out through you and all other avenues to let them know that, they're safe here, they have fun, and just come here and just what she said and see what we do, and they'll see that they need it as much as their the sibling does or the daughter or whatever.
Whoever's the
But
caregiver.
we just want them to know here's an out for them. And they don't have to worry about their parent. And
Right.
they're taken good care of. And we really love to see that, it helps both. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Last question. One word. How would you describe the center?
Wonderful.
Love.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both for what you're doing, and we appreciate it. And I'm sure you encounter this because we do too. When you're talking to families about different resources, different options available to them, often they're not familiar with what an adult day is.
Right.
You know, they're thinking, I think, in their head of like childcare or you know, daycare for a child, but adult days are entirely different. It's
Right.
just given that name.
Right.
How do you describe an adult day to somebody who you're talking to who may not be familiar with what an adult day is?
Adult day services are more gauged towards the individual. Where we do everything we do at our program is socially based. So we do everything, all our activities are fun. It's supposed to be an enjoyable environment where they feel comfortable, and when they come there, they don't feel so stressed out. You know, when they're at home with their family, they may not always have good days, but when they come to us, it like lifts their spirits up, and they feel different about how the day's going, and you know, everything seems to turn around, and they actually have fun when they get there.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get them there some days, but once they get there, they just love it. So.
And what's the hours that you typically see? What time do you start accepting clients?
Well, we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4.
8 to 4. Okay, so that's 8 hours of respite, either
Right.
every day or every other, or
Right.
one day a week for the caregiver.
They
too.
pick their schedule. We do not. We do whatever they need it for, and that's why we're here. We're here for respite for the families. So they can come at 8 o'clock if they'd like. They come, majority of the people come, you know, at different times. Some come in at 10, some come in at 9. Whenever they get ready to come, they come and drop them off and have an enjoyable day. The caregiver gets to go home and have respite, and they get to come in and have a good day.
What is is there a typical type of client?
No, we have different stages. With dementia and Alzheimer's, there's different stages people are in, the early, the middle, and the end, and we have a variety of the different stages in our program. So.
Okay. Now, are the activities, are they specific to the stages, or is it generalized?
For the most part, we do a general activity planning schedule, but if we know certain days we're having people that are further along in the dementia process, we have to alter some of our activities to meet that need.
So you can make it specific to the.
Yes,
That's
yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, for somebody that's watching or listening to this, and they're saying, you know, I never knew about this. This sounds like a great opportunity, not only for my mom or my dad or my spouse, but for me as the family caregiver. Walk us through the process. Do they call? Do they go online? How do they apply to the program? And once they apply, what's the steps afterwards?
Well, everybody's different. Everybody comes from a different circumstance. Some people are coming out of a hospital stay. Some people they had falls, they were in rehab, a spouse may have passed away, they moved in with a family member. So everybody's coming from a different place. So what we have to do is, it's case by case. We get different referrals from hospitals. We have family members that may have saw us on different advertisements, like we have the Hallmark Channel ad, we have ads on the side of a bus. So there's different ways people find out about us, and once they do find out about us, they call the number. I talk to them on the phone for a little while, and then we plan an intake where we sign them up for the program, and they can start right away.
That's wonderful. Now let's talk about the week. You know, you said they can pick the times, they can pick the days, but let's say I'm bringing a loved one here Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, because I have to go to work and I can't leave them alone. What is a typical week like Monday through Friday?
Well, Monday through Friday, first thing in the morning when the person arrives, he or she arrives, we start off with a morning snack and coffee and just get them comfortable in the environment they're coming into. And they all eventually gradually come in, and we every day start our day out with exercise at 11 o'clock every day. So that is our regular planned thing. And then we go into lunch after that. And then after that, we do activities according to, like we spoke before, whatever kind of clientele we have. It determines what we do for that day.
Okay. What's some examples of some activities?
Okay, like on Wednesdays, let's say, if someone comes in at, let's say, 10 o'clock in the morning, they would have coffee or whatever they like to drink and their morning snack. We do exercise at 11. We get lunch every day around 11:30, quarter to 12 every day. They have lunch. After lunch, we usually read the newspaper to them so they have current events. Sure. And then after current events, we have pet therapy. We have multiple different dogs that come in from our therapy company that works with us. We do pet therapy. And then after that, we may play bingo, do a craft, and maybe do some trivia, and that pretty much winds us through the.
So they're always being engaged at their
yeah,
level.
They're always socially engaged.
That's wonderful. So I'm here with Cheryl from Therapy Dogs International, Chapter 307, here at the Frenchtown Adult Day Center in Monroe, Michigan. Cheryl, thanks so much for being here today.
So glad to be here.
So share a little bit about what you guys are doing here with the dogs.
So visiting therapy dogs get invited, so there's a memorandum of understanding in place, and we come and visit any place we're invited. So today we're at Frenchtown Senior Center, but we're also frequently at the courthouse. Let me think, where else we go? We go to a lot of the local senior centers and a lot of schools and libraries. That's pretty much it.
Wonderful. What do you get when you bring the dogs in and you see them here with the clients?
I get to share my love of my dogs. That's the perfect thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? I'm retired. I get to do what I want when I want to do it. With these memorandums of understanding in place, we can make some schedules and then visit everybody who wants to visit.
How would you, so taking them to a school, you know, the kids get excited, I'm sure they love it. You know, courthouse probably has different purposes, but when you come to a place like this, an adult day, and people sometimes have, you know, cognitive issues or dementias, how do you see them respond to the dogs? Like, how is it benefiting them?
I like the stories because that brings up their memories of their dogs that they've had or other animals they've had in their lifetime, and then we share those stories. It's wonderful.
That is wonderful.
And then touch, you know, the touching.
Touching,
They're
yeah.
all very well bathed and groomed, so they get a lot of handling, but the touch is really important too.
And these are your dogs.
These are my dogs.
What are their names?
This is Link. Link is 8 years old. He has hundreds of visits at this point because he started visiting as soon as he was 1. This is my rescue girl, Ella, and Ella is 6.
6, wow. And they're so well behaved.
They're well behaved.
Yeah,
We
it's
do
wonderful.
evaluations to make sure they have the proper temperament and training, and then of course they're medically up to date on everything. So they're
Fantastic.
certified.
That's wonderful. Well, I mean, we've seen all the joy it's bringing the residents here, and we just thank you for what you're
Okay,
doing.
thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. I have a question about lunch. Is this a program where are you providing the lunch, or do they need to bring a lunch with them?
No, everybody that is in Monroe County, they get a lunch included into the meal. The meal is included into the cost of coming into the program. And if they're there during lunchtime, we do get a lunch for them. And our lunch is provided through the Life program of Monroe. It's Living Independence for Everyone. Wonderful. So every day.
Do you have any favorite stories of any of either your clients or families that, you know, just makes it all worth it?
Well, there's so many stories. It's just every day when you come into our job, all the staff, as you will meet, they all love their job, and every day is different. I can't really say there's one thing that I love the most because I love every day I come in here, because everybody always has a funny story, something's always happening, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. They just make me laugh, and you'll see when you see the film and the footage how much they enjoy doing exercise. You would think it would be boring. It's not. We do balloon bash, and they just laugh. You know, when they're bowling, they love it. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say there's one thing that I love. I love everything that I do with my job. I love my clients. I love my staff, and we just have a really good time every day.
Yeah. And I'm sure they love you.
Oh, I love them, and they
Yeah.
love me. Yeah.
Before we go in the back, I want to ask, if you're talking to a family member who is not familiar with an adult day, and they say, I don't know if my loved one really would like it, because we encounter that a lot as well, how would you answer them?
Well, all I tell them when they call me and they said, well, I don't know if they'll like it. I said, the first thing you need to do, sign them up and try it.
Right.
And, you know, all you can do is try. And if they don't like it right away, revisit it in a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Because today might have been a bad day for them. And maybe next week or next month, they'll feel differently about it. And usually when they do that, they come back and they're fine.
Yeah.
But we always try to get them to start slow, so they get comfortable with the program and they want to come back. And almost every client we have, they want to come in more and more. You know what I mean? They start out with a couple days, and some of them come every day. Some come 3-4 times a week. So
Is it drop-in based, Jean?
yeah.
Okay, so a family could wake up today and say, oh my goodness, I forgot, or I have this to do. They can just come by, check their loved one in,
Right.
no notice
Nope.
ahead of time?
Well, we have to order lunch, you know, but we can do something last minute. It's not a problem. They can come in anytime.
Wonderful. Now I'm joined by Peggy Haynes, who's a member here, and also your mom's here.
Correct.
So, Peggy, talk to us about what the adult day has meant to you and your family.
It's been guaranteed 4 hours of care that we know she's going to be exchanging with other adults in her situation, and she's very outgoing. She's like high on the dementia spectrum, I guess you could put it that way.
Okay.
She likes to socialize, and it definitely makes a difference.
How long has she been coming?
It's been over a year.
Over a year. How did you guys learn about it?
I think somebody saw it on Facebook
Okay.
and said, "Hey, why don't you check there?" And
Yeah. So that 4 hours isn't only helping your mom, but I'm sure it's helping you.
oh gosh, yeah.
How's it helping you?
Well, you can do things that you don't do when she's at home. You know, it gives you a respite. And also she interacts with other people, which keeps her socialized. And it's not just her children who are trying to entertain her, so to speak.
Right. Does she make friends? Like,
Oh, yeah. She's very outgoing. She used to work at Walmart. It was a
Okay.
big thing for her. And a lot of friends and very, like I said, outgoing.
Yeah.
So then this way she still gets to socialize. And
What is your mom's favorite part of the adult day?
oh, geez. I think all of it, really. Yeah, I mean, she loves Jean and the girls, Pam and Doreen. And she loves when they do the exercises. And I think there's quite a few women in there that she likes, and they know each other and communicate well to each other. So,
What's your favorite part?
peace of mind.
Peace of mind?
Yeah.
Wonderful. If we were to ask you, what is one or two sentences that you would use to describe the adult day? How would you describe that to somebody who doesn't know what an adult day is?
Oh, it gives you 4 hours to be free, basically. It gives you 4 hours to know that your loved one is in good care. Jean and the ladies are great. They can handle it all. They've dealt with the good, the bad, and the ugly, which everybody with dementia has some of that.
Right.
But I just like knowing that I got 4 hours to be by myself or do me.
Yeah.
Which
And that's important.
it is important.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're your mom's primary caregiver.
Correct. And this has been going on over 3 years.
Okay.
So after a while, it really affects you. So knowing that I can drop her off and not worry about her again until I pick her up, that gives you 4 hours of freedom.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, and it's a great thing.
It is. And, I'm fond of telling people who are family caregivers, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your loved
Exactly.
one.
You're
And
so right.
the 4 hours here at the Frenchtown Adult Day allows you to do that.
Exactly.
Well, Peggy Haynes, thank you so much for joining us
you're
and for
welcome.
sharing your thoughts.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Jean, and thank you for allowing us to be here today
problem. Thank you
to
for
share
coming.
our pleasure and for sharing all of these tremendous resources that you've made available to the families here in Monroe County.
All right.
And we look forward to helping to continue to support the center.
Thank you very much.
Our pleasure. And thank you for joining us today here at All Home Care Matters. All Home Care Matters is here to help families as they navigate these long-term care issues. We invite you to visit us at allhomecarematters.com, where there's a private, secure, fillable form where you can give us feedback, show ideas, or if you have questions. Every form is read and responded to. And remember, you can listen to the show on any of your favorite podcast streaming platforms or watch the show on our official YouTube channel. We'd also like to say thank you again to the Frenchtown Adult Day Center here in Monroe, Michigan for allowing us to spend the day with them. We look forward to seeing you next time here at All Home Care Matters.
Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to you joining us again on another episode of All Home Care Matters. To learn more about the show and to connect with us, visit us at allhomecarematters.com.